I'd like to begin by welcoming everyone to our Carver Family Matters 2.0. I'm here on behalf of myself and Ms. Britt. Ms. Britt and I started this initiative at Carver Middle School last year. It was actually begun at another school, Tradewinds Middle, and then it mushroomed over to Congress, and it's here at Carver. Our goal as an outreach team is to ensure that our families have at every juncture an opportunity to interface with us as much as possible. So I would like to welcome Ms. Britt, and if Ms. Britt will have remarks, and then she'll turn it over to Ms. Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, great. Welcome. We would like to thank you all for joining us this evening. What we are doing here is from my aspect as a parent, parents to parents, I feel you. I understand. And this school year has been real, for me to say the least. But what I can tell you is that Carver is here for you, that we will do what we can to help you navigate a way through the issues that we're being faced with today in terms of education and how we can help you help your children, and also just providing all type of resources for you to be able to relieve a little bit of your anxiety and to help you along the way. So we're so happy that you have joined with us today. And now I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful principal, Mrs. Edwards.
Okay, woohoo! Carver Middle. This is so exciting. Family Matters 2.0. Dr. Hunt and Ms. Britt, you have outdone yourself with this. If it's anything like the beginning, we're going to do a great treat tonight. I want to welcome the parents, the stakeholders, our community members to our digital forum tonight. And I want to thank the parents of Carver Middle. I know that it has not been easy, and we have made it through, though. This is our last week of school, and I want to thank the parents for really staying with us through this uncertain time. None of us know what to expect. Every day is a different day. But like Ms. Britt said at the beginning, we are here for you. And I want to thank the members that will be presenting tonight. I'm so excited about this because just so you know that we just continue to work, and we're going to be working throughout the summer as well. But thank you to Dr. Hunt. Thank you, Ms. Britt, for putting together this tonight. Thank you to the community members, stakeholders. Your voice matters, and I'm glad that we are doing this tonight. And I want to also invite you tomorrow night to our SAC meeting, which will be at 6 o'clock. But yes, so parents, once again, thank you. And now back in the hands of Dr. Hunt.
Thank you. With no further ado, I would like to now ask Ms. Britt if she could kindly give remarks as our SAC chair, our parent liaison, our community partnership coordinator, so many hats that she wears at the school. Ms. Britt.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hunt. On behalf of SAC, I would just like to thank all of our SAC members who have diligently worked with us throughout this school year to help to improve and enhance our school learning environment. I'd like to thank all of our stakeholders who also played a role in this, our business partners who also are part of SAC. And it takes all of us working together to make this endeavor the most meaningful to everyone involved. What I would like to say is that SAC is a very important aspect of our school program. And it takes all of us to make this work. And so all stakeholders are invited to be a part of our School Advisory Council. Your voice matters to us, and your input into making improvements to our school program is very vital, and we welcome you to that. Also, this coming school year, we will be having elections for members of the School Advisory Council. So I would like to invite all parents who would like to be a part to keep your eye on our website. We will be posting information regarding how to become a SAC member, how you are to submit your information so that we can make sure to get you the necessary paperwork in order to have your name on the ballot for an election. It is done through elections. Our peers elect peers, so parents would elect parents. But anyway, this is a very important tool for you to be involved with, and I do ask for your consideration again for the upcoming school year to become a part of our SAC, School Advisory Council. And even if you're not a member, we do ask for your participation because you are able to give input no matter if you're a member or not. Now, to the next slide, please. Thank you. So our volunteer and business partner coordinator, we welcome all of our volunteers. Parents, if you would like to be involved in our school, we ask that that you become a part through volunteering if you have the time available. Now, of course, with the uncertainty, we don't know how that's going to look going forward, but whenever the doors open, we want you to be right there at the door and come and join us and help us to make our school a better place. Also, with our business partners, I'm asking if any of you all have a business that you would like to have become a business partner with us, please email me your information. I'll get back with you and walk you through the process of how to do that. Also, there's a link that will give you access to the form that you will need to complete in order to become a business partner. Also, a part of becoming a business partner, we do have a banner program available for your business to participate in. And that information will also be on our website for you to be able to have access and understand what exactly we're asking of you, how you can get your name on a banner. The banner will be placed on the fence outside of our school property facing Atlantic. And we know that Atlantic Avenue is a thoroughfare for Delray Beach. So you will get plenty of exposure just by participating in our banner program. Next slide, please. Thank you. And so next, our parent resource room. I am the parent liaison, and I do man the parent resource room. And the parent resource room is what is available for you parents. We have so many programs that you can be a part of to help you through those difficult times. We have plenty of books that are available to you in each of the languages. We have it in English, in Spanish, and in Creole. So if you ever need help with how do I work with my child if they're exhibiting certain behaviors, how can I help my child to study or prepare for a test, we have books available to help you through the process. So the parent resource room is also available for you if you would like to do a job search and you don't have access to a computer or you don't have access to Wi-Fi. That room is available for you to take advantage of as well. We have a food pantry program. We have a clothing program as well. Supplies, school supplies. Available for those who are in need. So please, you can contact me at the information that is listed on the screen here for any information or resources that you may need. I probably can direct you. If I don't have it, I can direct you to the appropriate place. So please feel free to use that information. And I thank you all so much for your time and your effort placed in this school year. And thank you so much. And next, we'll have our presenter for our community partners. As I was telling you earlier, that we do have community partners as well as business partners a part of our school. And Mr. C-Ron Allen, if you are available, if you're on the, I know you told me you were going to be on, so if you could please just present what you have for us at this time.
Well, thank you, Ms. Britt. I am actually on the road traveling, but I'll do the best I can. This coming summer, folks, we have a camp that will be exposing the kids to blues music. Last year, we did this camp in Chicago. It's a week-long camp. And this year, it goes from the 12th of, or rather from the 5th of July through the 10th. And we have slots for about 15 local kids to be a part of this camp. We have kids be joining us from Tokyo. We have kids from Milan, Italy, from Chicago, from Memphis, as well as California, and they'll be instructed in blues, all aspects of the blues, by some of the country's top musicians. Just that some of you probably remember, this past winter we had our blues camp, Palm Beach County. It was a 5-day camp at the Arts Garage. And it was just an eye opener for some of these kids being trained by some of the top blues musicians in this country. Many of them had never heard of this genre before, but it's just another way to give them some exposure. So Ms. Britt has all the information. We're accepting registration now. In fact, that closes on Thursday, I think Wednesday or Thursday. So if you're interested, it's for middle and high schoolers. So if you're interested, just contact Ms. Britt.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Allen. Ms. Haywood, if you're on, if you can share your information about your virtual summer camp program.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm Cheryl Haywood. I'm the academic coordinator at the Wayne Barton Study Center. We're located in Boca Raton. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Wayne Barton Study Center, we have an after-school program, a traditional after-school program that runs from about 4 to 7 each day. But like many other after-school programs, the last time we actually had kids on site was on Friday, March 13th. So we have been working diligently to try to come up with some options for the summer. And we want to address maybe some of the deficiencies, some of the skills students didn't get in the last quarter, as well as some acceleration. So what we've done is we've partnered with Renaissance Learning, and we are going to be piloting Freckle Math. And then we're also going to be piloting Mayon and Mayon News for literacy. So that's going to be fiction and nonfiction. I think probably the most popular option will be virtual options. So these are web-based programs that students can log into. And we also are going to give an opportunity for students and parents to actually meet with certified teachers. So we'll build that in. And then we're also kind of toying with the idea of having a few students on site. So we have a pretty large facility, including 4 classrooms down in Boca. So we are able to maintain social distancing with having maybe 4 or 5 students in each classroom with an instructor. So this is a fee-based program, although for parties that are interested, I just invite them to call me at the center, and the phone number is listed there. And we'll talk about what the options are, as far as the fee-based program, because we really want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of students. So kind of in terms of the diagnostic and figuring out which skills need to be practiced, we'll go from there as far as recommending a learning plan about how much time the student should spend online and whether or not we recommend face-to-face tutoring, whether it be via Google Hangout or Zoom or something like that. But On that slide, you see the phone number to the center. That's the main number. I have my email address there, and you can also go onto the website to get some of this information. So we're scheduled to launch this on Monday, June 15th, because we wanted to give students a little bit of a break from the school year before we put them back into a distance learning setting. But we're planning to go all the way until the Friday before school starts again. So it can kind of be like a rolling admissions type thing. Like parents don't feel like they have to do the whole summer. We can have some conversations about what the student actually needs.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that information. And if Miss Claudia from the Arts Garage is on, you could go ahead and share your information. Okay. I'm not sure if she's on, but anyway, you can see her information is right here. The Arts Garage has been a one of the our community partners, and they offer information for the Arts Garage and their arts program. So if you're interested in any of that, please look at the information. They do have contact information on here as well. They're going to have an open house coming May the 29th through the 30th. And if you need more information, please feel free to contact the Arts Garage. Thank you so much. And back into the hands of Dr. Oh my goodness. Miss Hunt, Dr. Hunt, I'm sorry.
Dr. Hunt.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we also have May is Mental Health Month, and I want to just give a big shout out before we're not halfway through, but Ms. Britt, as our parent resource, has made sure she's formed a really strong relationship with many of the groups that are speaking here tonight and are providing information today. Please note it's a long-standing relationship, so this is what they have as their current offering, but throughout the school year, families, they are have a lot of programming that they make available to our children. So the upcoming event for Healthier Del Rey takes place on May 28th. It's hosted by Golden Parents, and it's called Cuts and Conversations. Also on our website, we're going to post some information about mental health. Be kind to your mind. So there'll be like a wealth of different like just different activities and affirmations and thoughts that you'll have that was provided by Healthier Del Rey, because again, this is a very hectic time for all children and parents. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to present our next facilitators, Maribel Cruz and Karen McClintock. And I apologize, I neglected to put the RN after Ms. Cruz's name, but Maribel Cruz is going to speak to us about the health and immunization, and Ms. McClintock is going to speak to us about COVID.
Thank you, Dr. Hunt.
Thank you.
Good evening, parents. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Maribel Cruz. I'm with the Palm Beach County Health Department's Immunization Program in the School Health Division. I will be just sharing some information with you regarding health requirements for school attendance, specifically for 7th grade students. There are 2 state mandated health requirements that 7th graders must meet in order to attend school. The first one is, you're seeing it on your screen now, it's the physical exam, and that should be completed within 12 months prior to the start of 7th grade. So fingers crossed, the children should be starting school August 10th. 2020. Therefore, their physical must have been completed August 10th, 2019 or later. So if your child has had a physical after that date, that does meet the requirement for 7th grade. Just please be sure to turn that into the school so that your child's record can be updated in the system. On the screen, like I said, that is the Florida School Health Physical Exam form. It's a 2-sided form. One side the physician completes, and the other side the parent completes. And that is giving the nurse information regarding your child's medical history. So this information is very important because it will determine how she can best meet the health needs of your child. So please be sure to complete that information before you turn it into the school. Tip for 6th grade parents: if your child receives or gets a physical anytime after the end of August this year, that physical meets the requirement for when they go to start 7th grade. So if you have that physical, please turn that into the school as soon as possible. So that way, that's one less thing you have to worry about later when they start 7th grade. For my 8th grade parents, if you did not turn in a physical when your child was entering 7th grade, he or she is considered out of compliance and may be excluded from school for not meeting the health requirement. So please make sure you get that into the school as soon as possible. Also, that can delay registration when they go to register for high school. So that is one thing that the high schools, will be looking for when you go to register for high school. The second health requirement for 7th graders is the Tdap immunization. And you should be seeing the Florida Certificate of Immunization on your screen right now. The Tdap is highlighted. That is a vaccine that is required for 7th grade. So please be sure that when your child, when you receive the immunization record from your doctor's office, that date is written on there, because that is the requirement for 7th grade. And that vaccine is normally given between the age of 11 and 12. So your child may have already received this vaccine. It's just a matter of getting the paperwork into the school. All the other immunizations that you see listed on the record, the DTaP series, the polio series, the MMR, hepatitis B, and varicella should have all been given in elementary school. So just make sure that that has been completed. If your child had chickenpox, they do not need the varicella vaccine. The DH680, the Florida immunization certificate that you're seeing before you, is the only proof of immunization that the school is allowed to accept. Now, if you're coming from out of state and your child has a complete record that meets Florida guidelines and standards, your school nurse can transfer that on to the Florida DH680. That's the same with the out-of-state physicals. If the out-of-state physical meets our guidelines and has the components that our physical includes, then that physical is acceptable, and the school will have the parent complete the page 1 of the child history and just attach that to the out-of-state physical. If your child is missing any of the required immunizations, they may not be allowed to attend school, because that is a Florida law. So please contact their doctors and schedule an appointment to have the records updated. We're all seeing, what's happening right now with the COVID-19 because we don't have a vaccine for it. So we don't want to see an outbreak for something that can be prevented. So please be sure to have your children vaccinated and protected against the diseases that we do have vaccines for. And so I'm going to pass that on to Karen so she can give you some information on how to stay safe against the COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Maribel. So most of us have on the top of our minds coronavirus. That's why one of the reasons the school year has been so crazy, especially the end of the year. So what I've shared with you are just a few highlights. What's important to understand is that the virus spreads in droplets. So the reason being for most of these precautions are to help prevent others from spreading the virus and to prevent ourselves from picking up the virus. So the most important thing to do is social distancing. That's kind of a hot topic, a hot word right now, but it really does work. That means you need to stay 6 feet away from other individuals when you're out in public. Now, of course, for those people whom you live with, that doesn't apply to when you're in your home. The next thing is you need to wear a mask whenever you are in public or whenever you are near someone who is not living in your own home. So that means to say, if you're driving in a car with individuals whom you live with, there is no need for you to wear that mask. But otherwise, when you're out in public, walking along the streets, you need to wear that mask. The other thing is to keep your hands away from your face. This will prevent you from introducing germs into your body, your face, your nose, your eyes, touching your hands to your face. I know oftentimes it's really difficult to keep the kids with their hands away from their eyes, especially if they have allergies and they itch. The other thing that you need to do is to wash your hands often. When you wash your hands, you don't need to just simply put some water on, run some soap and water on it. There is a proper technique to do that. At least 20 seconds, you should be washing your hands. And I know there's been lots of cute little videos out on this, but as you are washing your hands and you have that soap on your hands with the water, you should be able to get lots of bubbles foaming, get in between your fingers, underneath your fingernails. And oftentimes, if you sing Happy Birthday or the ABC song, then you'll know how long to actually wash your hands. The other thing is to cover your nose and your mouth with a tissue when you sneeze. Now that's great, but now that you've sneezed or coughed into that tissue, you need to immediately throw away and then wash your hands. If you don't have access to soap and water, the next best thing is to use a hand sanitizer that you can then use on your hands. The sixth thing to do is to, in your home, wash those high-touch areas often in your house. Now, here's the tricky thing that most people don't understand. You need to read the label on your cleaning product that you have. Most of them will advertise that they clean or they kill 99% of viruses and bacteria, but you have to read the fine print. How long do you have to leave that product on the surface wet in order for it to actually kill those viruses? You might be surprised. Some may take up to 10 minutes. Others can do it as quick in 30 seconds. So read the label. The last thing, which is so important, is stay home when you are sick. Unless you're going to the doctor's office, you really need to stay home. By staying home, it prevents the spread of illness. Now, of course, coronavirus is on our mind, but this includes everything from the flu to a cold to anything. When you're sick, please stay home. So that's what I have. If you need some phone numbers of where you can go to a doctor, the healthcare district, you can always call 561-642-1000. And there's another government agency called Found Care. They're located actually they're a little bit further away, but their number is 561-432-5849. Thank you. Next presenter.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions for anyone who has presented already, if you'd like to place it in the chat, and then that way we can forward that information and we can clarify any information that was already presented. But that number for Found Care, we'll add that to the comment log, and that was 561-432-5849. So we'll add that. Our next presenter is Ms. Render. She is our 8th grade guidance counselor and also our lead coordinator for our AVID program. Ms. Render.
Good evening, parents and family. My name again is Ms. Render. I am the AVID coordinator, and I wanted to speak to you for a few moments on what AVID is, as well as what the benefits are of having your child. So AVID itself stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, and it actually was a organization or system that was started by a former school teacher who noticed that she had quite a few students that weren't the students that were on the lower end academically, but they weren't the honor roll students either. And she felt that with enough motivation and push and academic strategies, that she could get those students to achieve much higher and actually live up to their potential academically. So for us, AVID's mission is to prepare our students actually for college readiness, not just for college, but for life, to be able to be competitive members in our society. And there are also many students that are capable. However, again, they just need that extra motivation, that extra push. And what we do is we provide that extra challenge for them by actually placing it in advanced level courses. These are rigorous courses that are taught by avid trained teachers. And again, these students are our students who that we know with the right motivation and the wonderful training of our avid teachers and our avid site team are able to excel much higher. And actually, they say statistically that students that start the avid program, particularly in middle school, not only tend to be accepted at more colleges, they actually enroll in those colleges and actually complete their 4 or 5 year program and receive a degree compared to other students that were not part of the AVID elective. Thank you. Next slide, please. Also, along with AVID, we also look at students who we feel are the what we call the academic middle student, capable of the college path. And typically what we found is that these students meet some of these categories. Typically when we look at students that are part of the AVID system, and you'll notice that I don't say AVID program, I say AVID system, because AVID really is not a program. It is a system of organizational techniques and resources and strategies that we use to help our students be ready for college and college readiness. So you will hear me refer to it as the AVID system rather than the AVID program. So we find that these students have been students that may have had attendance issues. These are students that are may have had situations where they have been economically disadvantaged, and that does not mean delayed at all. It just means that along the line, based on their environment that they may be a part of at that time, that these are certain things that kind of go against them living up to their potential academically. These are students that are historically underrepresented. A lot of our students that are in the AVID elective are minority students. Many of them are the first in their families that will even graduate from high school, attend college. Some of them are first generation relatives of former immigrants. So there's just a gamut of different ideals and practices of these students that really make it such a wonderful system to place them in. Now, if there's a student that doesn't necessarily fit one or more of those categories, that doesn't mean that they won't be a phenomenal AVID student. It's just that statistically, this is what we found, what the AVID student tends to look like. Thank you. Next slide, please. So one of the requirements of AVID is, again, as I mentioned earlier, is that our students are required to be part of advanced classes. We look at grades and we look at test scores and a number of different factors, and we ideally like to place them in at least 4 advanced classes, which are our core classes of language arts, math, social studies, and science. However, we don't want to overwhelm them. So you may have a situation where a student may be in 1 advanced class or 2 advanced classes, and eventually as they move up grade level wise, and as their grades begin to improve and they really begin to build that self-esteem and that stamina, they might be placed in 3 and 4 advanced classes. One of the also requirements is that all of our AVID students are required to have a 3-inch binder where they complete, where all of their assignments are left and placed in. And not only is the AVID binder a requirement for our AVID students, it is actually part of our school-wide initiative at Carver that all of our students do carry binders as well. And it's great for organization, great for them keeping up with their resources. Once they get used to carrying that binder, it's like they guard it with their life. They don't even like their teachers to even hold on to it for a day or so. They want to make sure that they have their binders with them. So they also learn those strategies, as well as are required to learn how to do focused note taking, which at Carver we do Cornell Notes. And also they are required to do tutorials. We have a tutor that comes in once a week during the school day with them, as well as they also participate with working with community leaders and visiting college campuses as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we would love for your student to consider becoming one of our avid students. We especially are always excited with our sixth graders because we get a chance to really get the growth and see them starting off from sixth grade and really watching them flourish and develop into eighth grade. But even if your student is not a sixth grader, we also would love seventh and eighth grade students as well to be a part of the avid elective system. So as you see on this slide here is my contact information as well as a Google Doc. If you click on that link, it will take you to the avid interest form so that I can get your information. And then the next step is the application process, which does include an interview with you as well as your child. But we would really love for you to consider avid. And thank you very much and hope you all have a great summer.
Ms. Render, thank you so very much. So we have someone that just popped in, Jasper, that asked what is AVID. So just quickly, Ms. Render, if you could put AVID into like a one sentence summary, what would you say is AVID?
Oh, one sentence?
I know.
Oh gosh, you know how long-winded I can be. Okay. AVID is takes the student that thinks that they are just a basic student and turns them into the exceptional ideal student by teaching them college strategies and organizational resources that will help make them not only competitive academically among their peers, but among a global society.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Render, kudos. Okay, so Jasper, I hope that helps with your question about what is AVID. As a parent, I taught AVID as a teacher, but my daughter participated. Franz, I think you're trying to show your screen for some reason. So if Franz could stop showing his screen. But AVID is a program where we could get Franz to stop showing his. But AVID is a program where my daughter joined AVID and she became a super uber serious student. So if your child has study skills issues, as Ms. Render mentioned, it really did help her with, it does really help with students getting kind of on track and getting focused. They do have that ability to get those tutors available. We do college Wednesdays. So you'll notice in that image, as Ms. Render was presenting, they had the teachers, the staff, we all celebrate college and career. So it's a really great opportunity. So if you have not joined the AVID program yet, seats are limited. So make sure that you go back to the presentation, complete that form, reach out to Ms. Render, and join that really great program. It's a nationwide program. So, take advantage of it. So our next person that will present, we have our math coach, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris, thank you. He'll be presenting on summer math virtual programming.
Good evening, everyone in the chat and that's listening and watching at the same time. I'm Edward Harris, the math coach at Carver Middle School. Some of the things that I have before you today that I want to share with you, some available options for students. Right now, we have 5 different Google Classrooms that I've put together. And in these 5 different classrooms, they're going to target certain skills and opportunities for students to be well ready and well vested for the upcoming school year in August. If we have to continue in the virtual school platform, or if we are in a face-to-face platform, at least the students that join the class that I have before you, they will have these opportunities to be ready for the first 9 weeks. You can move on to the next slide, please. The students that we're looking at, first we want to look at our feeder school students. Reached out to the guidance counselors the past few weeks. And with that, the students will go ahead, will meet up with the guidance counselor are going to give the information to the schools. And the schools are going to give those respective 5th graders that are coming into 6th grade an opportunity to sit in our Google Classroom. This will give the students that's going to sixth grade an opportunity to understand what middle school is all about. A lot of times I think students, they come in because they have a different system, X plus, and elementary school. And in middle school, they have A, B, C, D, and F. And this is an opportunity for those sixth graders to get a chance to see how our curriculum is set up. Also, we have a place set up for our AMP kids. With our AMP kids, those are your kids that are in sixth grade. They took a sixth grade math class as a fifth grader, so they'll be attending a seventh advanced class, which is an eighth grade pre-algebra class. I know it's kind of confusing, but those sixth graders will come in that are in AMP. They're taking a seventh advanced, and they still might be real ready for the math component, but they're still not ready for how to deal with teachers in a curriculum. So this is a chance for them to, get that opportunity as well to see how the platforms work. And also we have Algebra Nation for those students that are going to take algebra and geometry. So we just have these programs set aside for these students because usually most of the time during the summer, we have a summer program, either at Carver or either at Atlantic, or sometimes Congress has it, where we just combine, where we meet up and have a chance to work with our students that are coming into our feeder school. So this is an opportunity now, since we're in a virtual space, there's an opportunity for those students to catch up, learn virtually. Next slide. Some of the materials that I'm pulling from Blender. That's something that the teachers have to use for Palm Beach County. They have the scope and sequence. And also we have the breakdown of the standards that for the FSA, even though we still haven't had word of how our governor wants to change the test. But right now that's in front of us. We have to play the playbook of FSA. So these are the three components that will be used for those students that join this virtual class. Next slide. Now, when the students go into their portal, this is when they log into their portal. This is what they see. This is an opportunity where they can see, if you see on the screen, the M, that's the Google email. They have the iReady station. They have even the textbooks. I have the arrows for them so they can get their textbooks. And also they type in Algebra Nation. Algebra Nation doesn't come up for every student because not every student has the opportunity to take algebra. So they have to type in Algebra Nation and it'll pop up for them. And then the Algebra Nation is an opportunity for those students that are taking algebra and geometry that never had this platform before. They have the opportunity to now see how the program works, because it's very different and it's very independent compared to they pretty much teach them at a high school level. So they have to be well ready for that. And as you can see right here, the last slide, these are the codes for regular sixth grade students. There's a code. Seventh grade regular, there's a code. Now, if you're looking at this, why does it say seventh grade advanced / eighth grade? Well, the district has opted to use seventh grade advanced is the same book as the eighth grade. So the seventh grade advanced students are looped in with eighth grade. Then you have your standalone algebra 1 and your standalone geometry. If you have any questions through this slide, or if you have any questions, then you can leave in the chat, or you can email me at edward.harris.2@palmbeachschools.org. Thank you again. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. And then also, if hopefully I'm not mistaken in saying, you mentioned that if it's a current student at Carver, then they will already have been invited or will be invited into the appropriate 7th and 8th grade class. Is that correct?
Correct. So the math teachers at Carver right now have added the students that are in 6th grade to either their 7th advanced or 7th regular. And same for the 7th grade, they either add them to algebra or the 7th grade advanced or the 8th grade math. So the teachers have started to put them in. We just need the student to add themselves to the class.
Okay, thank you. And then we have a parent question, Mr. Harris. The parent would like to know if the student needs to read where he will get the book on the platform to read. So the textbook, the online textbook, if you could just refresh again and explain how they access the textbook.
So the students and the parents, if they go onto the Google Classroom that is set up for them, it's going to be instructions on how to do that. It's going to be videos already posted up there. If you go there now, I have stuff post-dated, so it won't start until the actual week of the class start. So there's some things up there that's just general, so to get the parents and students, acclimated with it. But I did not put all the information up right away because students will get distracted and stop doing their regular schoolwork to jump onto their summer program. So there'll be information up there for them. And if they are already in Palm Beach County schools, they should know how to, but I will repost that again as well.
Okay, that was very much appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Harris. And I'm going to take a pause just to say that they're getting accolades to you, Mr. Harris, accolades to Ms. Render. We have a phenomenal team at Carver. A lot of times people don't sing your praises. You're doing a great job and people just don't know. So I think Carver is probably one of the best kept secrets in the school district of Palm Beach County. A lot of wonderful things are happening now. A lot of things that we do here at Carver, people replicate and take them to other schools. But a lot of times people don't know that. So you can see from the presentations already that we have some dynamic programming available to our students. So thank you to you both that have already presented. And our next presenter is Ms. Garrier, our ESOL coordinator.
All right. Greetings. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay, good. My name is Ms. Garrier. I'm the ESOL coordinator at Carver Middle School. In my role, I serve to help our students who are newcomers to the United States acclimate and transition to our school culture. Well, I'm here to inform you about our ESOL summer school that will be available at the district level. Traditionally, we have ESOL summer school for our newcomers who are beginning speakers. The summer is a good time for students to either learn the basics of the English language or expound upon what they have already learned during our school year. And normally we have the ESOL Summer Literacy Program at a school site, but this current school year, because of the unforeseen circumstances, we'll conduct our program virtually, catering to students from 3rd grade all the way up until 11th grade. The students who are eligible for our program have already been contacted from either myself, our ESOL guidance counselor, and our language facilitators. And the district is currently in the process of processing the application so that they can begin disseminating information to the parents and contacting them in order to ensure that the students have the necessary resources to participate in the program. And the program will begin June 15th and will end on July 16th. Since our school caters to middle schoolers, for our 8th graders, they will have an assigned counselor who will help them prepare for high school. They will help them in mapping out their courses that they need or may want to take in order to steer them down a career path, because the end goal is to warrant that the students have a game plan in mind so that they can transition from middle school to high school and even beyond smoothly. So that's basically our ESOL literacy program as a whole. I thank you for lending me your ear, and I hope to see our newcomers participate in our literacy program.
Okay, that's very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Ms. Garrier. Our next presenter is Ms. Stewart. It says IB coordinator, but it's IB and pre-IT coordinator. Ms. Stewart.
Good evening, Carver Eagles. Hey, Eagles. I am Mrs. Stewart, and I am here to talk about our choice programs that we have here at Carver, which are our International Baccalaureate program, as well as our pre-IT program. Why choose our Carver IB program? Well, our lessons are taught through the STEM, the 4 C's of STEM, which is collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking. We pretty much encourage our students to think outside the box whenever they are in the classrooms. In our Choice IB program, that is advanced classes. So the students that are in the Choice program for IB are placed in advanced classes. One of the requirements of the Choice IB program is that the students participate in foreign language, which means that the students in 6th grade, they would be exposed to French and Spanish, half year French, half year Spanish, and then they would decide where they would like to continue. So in 7th grade, they decide their path if they would like to continue in French or Spanish. And then once they get into 8th grade, that is a high school credit course, which they will be able to earn a high school credit, because that would be considered French 1 or Spanish 1. So once they get to high school, they would only need to do Spanish 2 or French 2, and then therefore they would have their requirements for college already set. Also into the IB classrooms, the lessons are pretty much delivered so that the students connect with real life as well as the careers that are out there through the STEM as well. In the classroom is also project-based learning, which is CSI units. Some of the examples of the CSI units that the students participate in are like the meteorologist, who wants to be a meteorologist, the study of weather. One would be tech takeover. The students are learning how technology is used in the workforce and also with STEM careers. Earth living filters, how do plants play a role into our environment, solving problems and helping with the quality of life. At Carver, all students have to participate in community service hours, which is because we're a whole school IB, we encourage the students to be community service minded. So they do participate in community service hours. And whenever they're doing the community service hours, they want to do that through the global goals, which as you can see here on the screen, there's 17 global goals that the UN has decided, okay, these are some of the things that we would like people in the society to help with to make our world a better place. So we encourage the kids to look at some of the projects that they want to do through these lenses. So it can be like, looking at, how can we decrease poverty? How can we end hunger? How can we improve health and the well-being? Let's jumping down to the bottom. Climate action, what can we do to help with global warming? Life below water. Some of the kids, they participate in like beach cleanups. How can we help, with the life that's in the water? Life on land, building trees, not building trees, planting trees to help with the environment. So these are some of the initiatives that we at Carver try to instill into the students so that they can, be those community members that are out there. Also, once the students are in 8th grade, they have to choose like one of those projects and like one of those topics, and then they do a community service project, which they do as a group. So then they have to find a problem in the community. It can be locally or globally that they want to address. They work with their partners, they research it, and then they present it to others as to what are they choosing to do to make a difference in society. Students all have to do 10 hours of community service hours. And as you can see here on your screen, there's a form that the students have to fill out, and then they have to tie it into our IB learner profiles. Here at Carver, we look at our students and our staff members through the IB learner profiles. As you can see, we have reflective, open-minded, risk takers, caring, principled, balanced, knowledgeable, inquirers, communicators, thinkers. So we, pretty much groom the students so that therefore they become all of those things through their learning. Carver also leads into the high school IB program, which is also the diploma program at Atlantic High School, where the students will continue their IB learning. And then also students must maintain a 3.0 GPA to continue in that path. Also at Carver, we have our Pre-IT Academy, which is with technology. In this program, the students, they start off in 6th grade with like video game design, coding, learning how to use different type of technology, preparing them for the workforce. 7th grade, we move into robotics, web design. 8th grade, the students enter into a certification. Right now, it's like an industry certification that the students get. So all throughout the year, they are gearing and preparing for that certification. And the certification that they get in 8th grade is also a high school credit course. And then they actually end up with a certificate. So they can take that certificate later on into the workforce and say, wow, I have this certificate. I'm well equipped to do this job that you have out there for me. So with our IT department, it's grooming the kids and moving them on to, the careers that are out there that relate to technology. And that's what I have for you guys this evening. On the next one, because our school is under the Magnet School Grant, our program has extended our choice window until August. So if your child has not had a chance to do the application, we do have in-house and students that are zoned for Carver and students who are not zoned for Carver, they have the opportunity to fill out the application to apply for our program. So if you miss that deadline, don't worry. We still have spots open for you guys, so you can fill out the application for the IB program as well as the pre-IT program. And we look forward to having you all join our Eagle family. Have a great evening.
Excellent. Thank you so very much, Ms. Stewart. And please keep in mind on the presentation, you do have the email addresses for the different presenters. So in the case of Ms. Render as well as Ms. Stewart for their specific programs, if you have an interest in joining them, you can reach out to them directly and let them know so that as you're completing, for example, the choice program IB form or pre-IT form, your child can still be admitted into those programs, but please give Ms. Stewart a heads up so that she can flag and look for that application. Next, we have our single school culture coordinator, Ms. Jeffrey, who will present on supporting our students away from school. Ms. Jeffrey.
Thank you, Dr. Hunt. Good evening, families. My name is Michelle Jeffrey, and I am the SSCC at Carver, which means I support a variety of initiatives. But most importantly, I'm the curriculum and instructional contact for the Language Arts Department for intensive reading, science, and social studies. I wanted to share with you tonight some information on how your students can be engaged in learning throughout the summer. We all fully understand the importance of your student continue to learn while they're away from school. And by utilizing the technology that you already have in your home, students will have access to educational programs and books that will allow them to continue to differentiate instruction and to meet their individual needs. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right, so let's first talk about the summer reading assignment. Oh, can you go back one, Dr. Hunt? Dr. Hunt, do you have, there we go. Thank you. All right. So all Carver students are required to complete a summer reading assignment. Summer reading is critical for students to retain knowledge and skills that they've learned in the previous year. And we all know that students who don't read are at risk of falling behind. Our summer assignments are full of highly engaging books that our students will want to read. The assignments have been shared with our feeder schools as well as our current students, and they will be available starting next week on our school website. Our 6th graders will be able to choose from a variety of Sunshine State readers. Our 7th and 8th graders have books that have been chosen and assigned to them. Many of the books are available digitally, and the links are provided for our 7th and 8th graders. Rubrics are included, so your student will know exactly what's expected of them. And students will spend a lot of time journaling. We really want them writing or typing. They can even video record, and so that way they can have a voice and choice of what their end product will look like. Questions and prompts have been provided to support their thinking. And we're asking students to connect to the IB learner profiles. So when a student engages in a text, they need to consider their character and the traits and how it aligns to our profiles. For example, are they a caring character? Are they a risk taker, etc.? Students should return to school with the assignment completed, and teachers will allow some time for editing and revision, but most of the work should be created and completed over the summer. Next slide, please. So next, let's talk about continued learning through the content area of science. Study Island is our digital science resource that we use on our campus. By accessing Study Island at home, it will enhance learning and help your student to master necessary science skills. Students currently use Study Island on a daily basis at Carver. Next slide, please. Study Island is accessible through the students' portal. They all know how to get there. Study Island allows students to engage in lessons that allow them to earn blue ribbons when they master a topic. Students can also choose their own topics to work on or explore, or they can move along a predetermined course that the program offers to them. The science team will be assigning Study Island lessons for the students to be working on over the summer as well. Next slide, please. So with that being said, Study Island will be available all summer long. Students can easily track and monitor their progress and quickly find their assignments when they enter their class. There are built-in games on Study Island, incentives, and animations to capture the students' attention while providing standards-based instruction in the content area of science. Next slide, please. Now, our reading and language arts students will have 2 programs to choose from. The first is iReady, and I absolutely love iReady because students interact with this program in elementary school as well, and so they already know how to navigate around. Our incoming 6th graders will already have access to iReady, and they'll be ready to jump right into the next school year. And our current students were part of a pilot program at Carver this year, and so they have access to iReady as well. Next slide, please. Students will also have access throughout the summer, and iReady is really cool because it offers additional support to families beyond just the tech program. Parents have access to activity packets and at-home learning experiences in addition to the standards-based lesson. And you can visit curriculumassociates.com to find out some more information about the resources that are there. Next slide, please. iReady is an adaptive program. That means it moves along with your child and differentiates the instruction. If your child is experiencing a gap in learning, iReady is going to give them a lesson that guides them through that process. If your student is struggling a little bit, it may differentiate to a lower grade level to support them. And with your higher level achieving students, it will enrich them by giving them some higher level assignments and work to work on to challenge them as well. Students in iReady can pick their own avatar, and they can earn tokens while completing lessons. These tokens can be used to play games. The games are interactive, they're engaging, and even while they're playing the game, they're actually still working on standards. So the best of both worlds. They have an opportunity to learn, have fun, and it's very much engaging. Next slide, please. Finally, ELA and Reading can also choose from Reading Plus. Students will have access to Reading Plus throughout the summer, and it also offers printable activities for our families, along with the standards-based computer program. You can visit readingplus.com for more information on resources that might support you and your student at home. Next slide, please. Reading Plus has a wealth of resources that are easily accessible at home. Reading Plus really supports our students who are slightly below grade level or our ELL population, those who need a little additional support with fluency and reading comprehension. Once again, students have control and they have choice in what they want to practice. They can work at their own pace, and lessons are very guided for them. Both of our reading programs will support students across all content areas as they learn to read with greater fluency, ultimately with stronger comprehension. If you have any questions on the summer reading assignment or the technology programs for the language arts, reading, or sciences departments, please reach out. I will be working all summer, and I will be happy to support you and your student as we move throughout the summer months. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jeffrey. At this juncture, I would like to bring Ms. Britt back in for our closing remarks. Ms. Britt?
Hi, thank you. Wow, this was just awesome. I'd like to thank everyone who participated, who made this possible. Thank you, Dr. Hunt, for all of your hard work and effort. Thank you to our administrators and to our principal, Mrs. Edwards. And thank you, our community partners, our business partners, and our parents. Thank you all for your continued support. We ask that you would continue to support not only your children, but continue to support Carver in the efforts that we're trying to bring to you for your children. You have been presented with a wealth of information that will help you over the summer, and we just ask that you would take advantage of the information that has been presented to you in helping your children. Let me tell you, Carver is a wonderful place. And as you can see from the information that was provided, that Carver is the place to be. And parents, what we ask you to do is to continue to work with your children over the summer and utilize the information that has been provided to you. And we ask that you be safe in your journeys going about over the summer, because we'd love to see you back with Carver in the upcoming school year. I would like to leave you with this, because there was a point that was written for volunteers, and it says that volunteers are not paid because they're not that they are not worthy, they are not paid because they're priceless. And so parents, I say to you that what we do with our children is priceless. And we ask that you just continue to do the best that you can with your children, and continuing to provide the necessary support that they need. And if you don't have the support, you can contact us. We're here to help you, in whatever way that we can. And with the resources that we have available, we're more than welcome to share it with you. So thank you so much. Stay safe and God bless you. And I'm going to let Mrs. Edwards have to say something as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Britt. I want to thank Dr. Hunt and Ms. Britt for a phenomenal Carver Matters 2.0 night tonight. As a principal, I am so proud. I am elated because we do have a great staff here. And I do know a lot of things that we do. It's just not out there, but it's getting out there. So thank you all that were participants tonight. Thank you to the parents and the community members and our stakeholders. You all make a huge difference, and your support is greatly appreciated. And we're looking forward to a great year. We don't know what that's going to look like, but definitely stay tuned to the internet and see what's going on. Stay safe. Dr. Hunt and Miss Britt, we give you a round of applause. Thank you, guys. And one of you can send it. Thank you.
Thank you. And that code, parents and students, if you join that code will direct you to the Carver Eagles desk. So if you're an incoming 6th grader, that's where we have a lot of our announcements and information. You're welcome to join it now. And then you'll see all of the items that were posted previously, so you can kind of catch up and understand what Carver is like. So again, thank you on behalf of myself and Ms. Britt. We welcome you and hope that you all have a great summer. Have a great day. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Bagliano, for recording for us. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Boileau for recording. Thank you.
Good job, Dr. Hunt, Ms. Britt.